So let's define what an equation actually is. An equation is nothing more than a mathematical sentence that has an equal sign. Okay, some people will say it's two expressions connected with an equal sign. That works as well. But basically, you need to know that an equation does have an equal sign. So let's go ahead and look at the first statement. It says, find the solution of the equation 2m plus 5 equals 13 if the replacement set is. Now when you look at this, kind of confusing, right? I mean, it looks really confusing. I mean, because you're like, replacement set, what is this? And I'm going to tell you right now that this is actually a really easy problem. In fact, it's 5 really easy problems. Okay? So let's go ahead and look at this. What this means when it says replacement set, when it says replacement set, I'm going to take that number 2 and I'm going to plug it in here for m. And I'm going to see if that equals 13. If it equals 13, that's one of my answers. I'm going to take the number 3 and I'm going to plug it in here for m. And I'm going to see if 2 times 3 plus 5 equals 13. If it does, that's one of the answers. And so do you see the pattern? You're just going to take all of those values and you're going to plug them into the equation. You're going to see which ones make the equation true. All right, so I want you to plug 2 in. So to plug 2 in, what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and do this. 2 times 2 plus 5. Does 2 times 2 plus 5 equal 13? What does 2 times 2 plus 5 equal? What? 9. So, you know what? Oops, let me grab the pen. This is out. So that's not a solution. Now I'm going to do the same thing with 3. Does 2 times 3 plus 5 equal 13? What does it equal? 11? Yep, so that's out. Does 2 times 4 plus 5 equal 13? Yeah, so 4 is the solution. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Okay, let's just check the last two just to see. Does 2 times 5 plus 5 equal 13? Nope. And what about 2 times 6 plus 5? Does that equal 13? No, so our solution is 4. Not too bad, right? Looks a lot worse in words than it actually is as a problem. Let's look at another one. Find the solution set for each equation if the replacement set is 0, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so I start by plugging in 0. So I'm going to plug in 0 here. Okay. Order of operations, I do 3 times 0 first, which is what? Plus 1 times 4. Does that equal 28? Nope, so 0's out. Okay. Let's try plugging in 1 now. Okay, and it's kind of nice that I've got the dry erase board. I can just do that. Okay, so let's plug in 1. 3 times 1 plus 1 times 4. Does that work? Nope. So let's try 2. 3 times 2
6
plus 1
7
times 4. Bingo. What's going to happen when you plug 3 in there? Is that going to work? No. So your answer is 2. Okay. So then now we're going to solve the following equations. If you notice, the nice thing about this equation is that everything's on the left side that you need to calculate. And then the variable is the only thing on the right side. So basically, this is just like something you did 2 days ago, except for what they've done now is added the equals p. So up until this point, you had problems like this. Okay? And so then now they're just doing this. So it's the same thing as what we did when we evaluated expressions. So order of operations, what are you going to do first? What's in the parentheses? So first I need to do 5 squared, which is? Good. So I have 6 plus, you told me this was 25. What's 25 minus 5? 20. So I have 6 plus 20 divided by 2. What am I going to do now? Yep, which is 10. So now I have 6 plus 10. So what does P equal? 16. All right, let's look at another one. N equals 9 squared divided by 5 minus 2. What do you do first? Yep, which is 3. Okay. What is 9 squared? 81. So I end up having N equals 81 divided by 3. What's 81 divided by 3? 27. Okay, questions? Not too bad? All right, now is when we actually get to the solving the equations. Okay, these are going to be the toughest problems today of the ones we've looked at, so I'm going to warn you. But all in all, you should be able to handle those. So we have 7 minus parentheses, 4 squared minus 10 parentheses, plus n equals 10. What am I going to do very first? Yep, so specifically, yeah, the 4 squared, which is 16. So now, what is 16 minus 10? 6. So I have 7 minus 6 plus n equals 10. What is the 7 minus 6? 1. Okay. How do you solve that equation for n? Yeah. 10 minus 1. I need to subtract 1 from both sides. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. And so I get n to equal 9. Okay, we're going to try a couple more of these. I've got quite a few examples of these equations just to make sure we've got them down, because they do get kind of in-depth. Okay. What do I do first? Yep, so what do I get? Right? And then what's my other parentheses going to give me? 7. So really what ends up happening is I have 5n. Notice how I'm going to write that, because that looks like something I've seen before. Okay, plus 6 equals 5n plus 7. Now I need to solve that for n. So what I'm going to do is try and get my n's onto one side of the equation. Okay, so I'm going to subtract my 5n here. And on the left side, I end up getting 5n minus 5n, which is what? 0. But I still have a 6 over there. On the right side, I get 5n minus 5n, which is, and I still have a 7. So now the question is, what do you do? Because there's no variable. And this is one of those instances in which I have to look at what I'm given at the end. Does 6 equal 7? Is that a true statement? No, 6 never equals 7. So as a result, this is a problem that has no solution. Nothing will work. No values of n will work. And so we write no solution. Now there is a way that you can write an abbreviated version of that, if you just put a circle with a line through it. So on your homework, you can either write no solution or you can put the circle with a line through it, and that means the same thing. This only occurs when you get a false statement. Let's look at another one. 18 plus 4 plus m equals 5 minus 3 times m. What do I do first? Yep, so tell me what I get.
14 and 2.
Close.
Oh, 2.
Yep, there you go, 22 and 2. So can somebody tell me what I'm going to do now? Yep. So specifically, what do I need to do? Yep, so I'm going to subtract m. Now, what's that number in front of m since there's not one written? It's actually a 1, right? So if you want to, you could put the 1 in there if that kind of helps you see things a little bit. On the left side, you get 22. On the right side, I have 2m minus 1m, which is what? 1m. Ah, which is exactly what I wanted. So your answer is just 22. Oh, check that one out. Okay, I'm going to let you get that down because I know some of you are writing these down. And then we're going to walk through this one. I know it looks bad, but trust me, we'll get through it. It's not near as bad as it looks. Okay, so you've been saying we do parentheses. So let's start with this first set of parentheses. What do I have to do? Which is, okay. Parentheses, can I do anything with these? This set of parentheses? Not yet. This set of parentheses, can I do anything with it? What can I do? Remember, that's like a 1H. So really, how many H's is that? 3. So then now in the next step, I have 10 minus 8, which is what? 2. Times 3h plus 6. On the right side, notice I have those brackets. Okay, those are the same thing as parentheses. So it's not that I'm ignoring those, it's just I can write these as parentheses. Because inside of those, what do I now have? Perfect. 3h plus 6. Nice job. And then outside of the parentheses, I have a 2. So then now, let's go ahead and distribute. When I distribute the 2, because this is what we did yesterday, when I distribute that 2 to each of those, what do I end up getting? 6h plus 12. For those of you wondering where that came from, 2 times 3 is 6h. 2 times 6 is 12. What do you get on the right side when you distribute the 2? Ah. What do you notice about the left and the right? They're the exact same thing. So remember how when we had something that wasn't exactly right, we couldn't solve? Okay? If I try to subtract 6h here, on the left side, my 6h's are gone and I get 12. On the right side, I get 12. And there's nothing I can do. Okay? So if you remember, when I had a false statement, something that wasn't true, what did you put? Remember when we had that 6 equals 7? We put no solution. Now this one's got a special thing too. Whenever I get something like this one, this is like every possible solution you can have. So how we write that is we do this. All real numbers. Okay? That's one way. Now if you remember, we had a little shortcut with the no solution. We kind of have a shortcut here. We can write all, and then if you just put an R with 2 lines, This symbol means real numbers. So you can do one or the other. So this is when you have an absolute true statement. The other one is when you have a false statement. Questions? Yes, sir.
What's the bottom?
This means all real numbers as well. This R, basically you just put two lines and put an R. This is the symbol for real numbers. Okay? And so whenever we talk about the real numbers, you'll see an R written like that. And that just means real numbers. So you don't have to write it all out. Alrighty, we're going to try one more for today. One more equation. So what do I do first? Yep, so what do I get? Okay, what do I get here?
9.
Yep, I get 4 plus 5. So let's just go ahead and write this out. I get 12 times 3 plus 9k equals k times 9 plus 36. So what is 12 times 3, folks? 36, nice job. On the right side, I've got 9k plus 36. To solve this, what do I need to do? Subtract 9k. On the left side, what are you left with? On the right side, what are you left with? Ah, so what is my answer? All real numbers. Good job. Let's go. We've got one story problem we're going to look at today, and we're going to look at that because you're going to have some story problems on your homework. But this is talking about movies. It says Mr. Hernandez pays $10 each month for movies delivered by mail, kind of like Netflix. Okay? He can also rent movies in the store for $1.50 per title. Write and solve an equation to find the total amount Mr. Hernandez spends this month if he rents 3 movies from the store. Okay. So let's see. He pays $1.50 per movie, right? So how much has he paid for movies? How can I find that? What? So how do I find that if I know he pays $1.50 per movie? Times it by 3. What else does he pay? So how do I do that? Add 10. Okay, and so they want an equation, so we'll just say equals C for the cost he paid for the amount he paid. So there's your equation. What is 150 times 3? 450. And I'm going to add that to the $10. So how much has Mr. Hernandez paid? $14.50. Okay, so that's just how you do that. Pretty straightforward. Shouldn't be too difficult. So your assignment then for today, are there any questions? Assignment for today, 12 through 34 the evens and 38 through 56 the evens. Okay, 12 through 34 the evens, 38 through 56 the evens.